You've been listening to the Spirit Fluent podcast. Your continued support means so much to me, and I just want you all to know how grateful that I am for you. I have many resources on my website, spiritfluent.com, as well as on my YouTube at Spirit Fluent. And I would love to invite you to check out my book, My Spiritual Awakening is a Shit Show, on Amazon now. Welcome home, spiritual humans. I am Stacy, your host over here at the Spirit Fluent podcast. And first, my apologies that I have not been making as many episodes as I would like to. However, I have been hard at work on my book, Tattoo Medicine, the Spiritual and Emotional Healing Through Tattoos. I am collaborating with Radiant Coaches Academy to bring you an amazing healing retreat that's actually focused on intuition development here in Phoenix in March. And there's just so many other things that I've been working on that I know that I've set this podcast a little bit on the back burner, but I just wanted you guys to know that I didn't forget about you. And so I thought maybe what I might do is read you a bit of my book. And I've been really excited about this book. I have written 17,000 words in just over a week. My goal was to try to finish this book in 10 days. I didn't meet that goal, but I'm okay with that. I am okay with that because I didn't push myself. I didn't pressure myself. I had a lot of different things that were going on in my life. And I think there's no shame in writing 17,000 words in a book in 10 days. I think that's pretty freaking awesome. So I'm proud of myself. And I thought maybe I'd read you the introduction of my book, and I would love to hear back from you guys on what you think about this book. So make sure that you can reply, comment, go check out my TikTok and post on my tattoo videos what you thought about this, or if you're really excited about it, get on the wait list, because not only am I going to have that retreat launching where you can come hang out with me for a week, but we are also going to be launching this book in March, and I'm just so excited about it, guys. I'm so excited. So I'm going to start reading, and I'm going to read you the introduction to this book, and I hope that you guys love it as much as I've enjoyed writing it. And without further ado, let's get into this. The first tattoo I got was a little red heart on my left shoulder. I was 16 and living in Lake Havasu City, Arizona, and I always wanted to get a tattoo. But my Christian faith taught me that tattoos were the devil's work, and that anyone who had one would spend an eternity in hell. So getting one seemed like a surefire ticket to eternal damnation for me. Growing up, I was told our bodies are a gift from God, a blessing we received because we are righteous in a premortal life. And tattoo is graffiti on the temple of the body. I was even taught to fear people with tattoos because only bad people had tattoos, right? Even had that Bible verse thrown at me. People love throwing around anything from Leviticus, and this one was no exception. Leviticus 19, verse 28, which says, "Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor any print or tattoo marks upon you. I am the Lord." Talk about guilt trips and shaming, which was actually, that Bible verse was actually about a pagan ritual. And no shame on pagans, just clarifying for my fellow Christians reading this book. And that ritual was of cutting and tattooing at funerals because it was believed to assist in the passage into the realm of the dead. And it had nothing to do with tattoo as we know it today. And honestly, it's interesting that some Christians show no issues eating bacon, which is also condemned in the Bible, but they grasp really hardly onto this verse and others that allow them to judge and exclude others. Okay, off my soapbox. Let's move on. But I knew I needed something to heal that was more than a Sunday school lesson. anything to let go of the childhood trauma and chaos that was my life, except I couldn't explain why I needed that. I felt like such a rebel going to some biker dude who ran a dusty little tattoo shop in Bullhead City, Arizona. My first tattoo on my left shoulder didn't hurt at all. It just felt like someone was pressing a pen into my skin over and over again for 30 minutes or so. But it helped heal something inside me. It felt like a release. And so when my ex-husband, who, by the way, signed for me to get that tattoo because, he was 23, and we'll talk about how wrong it was for a 23-year-old to be dating, at the time, a 16-year-old. But when I got that tattoo, I became a pariah in the eyes of my parents and church elders. But I really didn't care. When I was 19, I got my next tattoo of a scorpion on my ankle after leaving that same ex-husband. But that's a story for later in this book. Looking back, those really weren't my first tattoos. Armed with a sewing needle and a Sharpie, I gave myself 2 tattoos in high school a couple years before. A heart over my left middle finger and a cross on my left inner ankle. That ink has since faded, leaving faint scars and memories of the past. However, I still remember the emotional pain and turmoil that I was experiencing in my life that led me to attempt to give myself those tattoos. Being abandoned at boarding school, my parents divorced, and sprinkled with a healthy dose of other childhood trauma, led me to needing some serious healing. When therapy didn't work, I turned to my own methods, tattoo medicine. Now, of course, I wouldn't advocate anyone giving themselves tattoos the way I did, but for me, it helped release something within that needed healing. What I didn't know then, but I do know now, is that tattoos hold some magic within them, the magic of healing the past. Fast forward over 20 years, I found myself with my husband. Pardon, I should change this, guys. We're editing this as we go. I should put my current husband at a demonstration because I'm now remarried, by the way. So let's rewind and read that over again. Fast forward to over 20 years, I found myself with my current husband at a demonstration for some new medical technology that claimed to be able to scan the energy field of a person and then heal it. The woman with the machine noticed the scorpion tattoo on my left ankle, and she told me how she noticed that people with tattoos seem to have some sort of energetic leakage and asked to scan my tattoo. And I said, of course, go ahead, why not? And she indeed confirmed that I had an energetic leakage. As I listened to the woman speak, my mind started racing. As an energy healer and a Reiki master, I knew something about the energy system of the body, the way that energy gets blocked in certain parts of our bodies when we experience emotional trauma or experiences that disrupt our life. And it was at that moment I realized something very powerful. Tattoos are not self-harm. They are a way to release energy to clear those blocks in our body, those emotional traumas and life disrupting experiences, and heal it, even if we didn't know it. I nearly screamed out loud, tattoos are healing. I knew there was something more to those intentional pieces of art on the skin, and now I was determined to find out more. I began to pray and meditate on the tattoos, and Spirit revealed their deeper meaning to me. Each tattoo provides healing and release depending on the location that they were placed on the body. I started to share these downloads from Spirit on my TikTok, and one of those first videos on tattoos hit nearly 1 million views. And actually, to this day, guys, it's over 1 million views. Um, and nearly every comment was from people who had tattoos on their forearms. comment after comment and people after people were agreeing, yes, indeed, that was the reason they got that tattoo on that specific location. And I decided to share this wisdom and knowledge with you in this book, Tattoo Medicine, so that you would know about the spiritual meaning contained in your tattoo. Join me on a message. Pardon, let's try that again. Join me on a journey of self-discovery as I tell you about the magical messages and strength and healing that is contained in tattoos. You'll learn how to decipher your own tattoos messages so that you can use them for tools of empowerment, both now and in the future. In this book, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the spiritual meaning of tattoos. You might think that reason you got the tattoo on your butt is because it was a cool design and you wanted it there, but it actually means something completely different. So keep reading. And that's the introduction to my book, Tattoo Medicine. And obviously, this is my first draft, so there's a little rough spots, some little grammar things that I need to fix. But I can't tell you guys how excited I am to get this book out. I've been writing and working on other books, and I felt a little blocked with them. And so I kind of sat back and I thought about this. And this is true if you feel blocked anywhere in your life. It was like, okay, am I forcing myself to do something that is maybe not the right timing or maybe not the right path? Um, am I writing something because I feel like I have to versus because I wanted to? And when I looked at my books, I felt like this was because I had to, not because I wanted to. And so when I looked at this book, Tattoo Medicine, I wanted to write this. This is fun for me to write and fun for me to share. And so what I did is I got on my TikTok and I ended up kind of busting out my pendulum and telling everybody, like, I have 4 ideas for these books. And they're like all these half finished books. And I don't know where to go with these things and which one I should focus on. So we're going to use my pendulum and we're going to figure out what book. And I put that little pendulum over there and I said, show me which book I should start with. And so I started with, holding that book there and going, okay, it's got to be this book. It's got to be that book. And it swung over to the tattoo medicine book. And at first I was like, oh, dang, that wasn't the one I thought I should write. And I realized I had been going all in my head and less with my heart and less with my intuition. And when we do that, when we go where we think we need to go, versus being spirit led or spirit directed or intuitively directed, we may not always end up where we need to be, or we may not end up where is the best place for us to be. And so, while this was kind of a little resistance to me, I said, okay, fine. I'm going to start writing this book. And I gave myself that goal of 10 days. I'm going to write this book in 10 days. And like I said, clearly we didn't make first draft in 10 days. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. But we did make, in fact, I'm going to look and tell you how many words are we at here. Let's check it. You hear my little clicks in the background. This is me doing the word count. I'm actually at 18,119 words right now, 44 pages in. I would say I'm solidly at least halfway, maybe 2/3 of the way through this book. It's not going to be a very long book, but it's going to be a very powerful book. And I'm super excited about it. I am so excited about sharing my knowledge with you guys. And I think let me rephrase this. I know that this is the first of many books. And I'm excited to continue to share information with you and knowledge and wisdom and things that can help you heal. And we can heal together. I can share my journey and you can share yours, and we can walk this path. And we can understand that phrase that we are all one. When one is healing, we all heal. When one is sad, we are all sad. And the more that we can heal, the more powerful we become. And that power becomes a stepping stone to utilizing that seed of greatness that is within us, that beautiful power and strength that we are able to draw upon and take us on a path, a journey of learning, a journey of understanding, a journey of peace and joy. And this just makes me so excited to get this book done. And I'm excited about it. I'm excited to potentially show people that they can heal through tattoos, to end the stigma around tattoos. I grew up in the 80s believing that anyone who had a tattoo was a very bad person and to steer clear of them, to not be near those people, that they were dangerous. It was an identifier of someone who was not the best people to be around with. You don't keep company with people with tattoos. And to be able to break free of that, and also break free of the stigma that's on my own tattoos is so powerful. I can't tell you, I grew up in a Mormon religion. I'm still Mormon. And I can't tell you how many times I've gone to church or temple and people have stared at my tattoos and given me dirty looks and make me feel less than because I had artwork on my skin. Made me feel like I didn't belong, that I wasn't supposed to be a part of whatever community they had. And it just reminds me of Christ. And whether you're Christian or not, just keep listening, because Christ was almost an antagonist. He did not like the rules of organized religion. He did not like the structures, the exclusion. Um, we remember that he hung out with the quote unquote sinners and the undesirables, the tax collectors and the adulterers. And he was the one that would go flip tables and tell people that what they were doing was wrong. And then we create these organized religions in Christ's name that have become exactly what he spoke out against. Places of judgment and criticism, places of rules and restrictions, places that define what is good and what is not, and leave no room for personal growth and healing. That we must be perfect, look perfect, and act perfect at all times, or we are not worthy of Christ. And that is not what Christ was ever about, right? And so at the beginning of my book, this is why I include this scripture and that commentary, because, we have become a judgmental people, whether we're Christian or another religion, and utilizing religion, weaponizing it to create judgments against others, other humans. It is not our place to judge. It is our place to love and to heal. Remember, we are all one. So as we judge one, we judge ourselves. And that there is a very powerful thing to understand. As we judge one, we judge ourselves. And our judgments of someone else reflect our judgments of ourselves. And that is something we don't want to do. We do not want to judge. We do not want to hate. We do not want to despise. That is not our jobs. Our job is to live our lives with purpose, healing, love, intention. The judgment's not up to us. And I suspect the judgment is based on the actions. Are we kind? Are we loving? Are we supportive of others? Do we ask for forgiveness when we create wrong? Do we not judge? And so I'll leave you with those thoughts. Whenever anything comes to your mind, remember that we are all one and that we are all healing together. And so, my beautiful spiritual humans, have a wonderful, wonderful day. And I hope and wish all the healing to you. You've been listening to the Spirit Fluent podcast. Your continued support means so much to me, and I just want you all to know how grateful that I am for you. I have many resources on my website, spiritfluent.com, as well as on my YouTube at Spirit Fluent. And I would love to invite you to check out my book, My Spiritual Awakening is a Shit Show, on Amazon now.